Hey guys, it's Kosi. Welcome back to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8! It's the 8th episode already. God damn. In the last episode, we finally stepped up our key level, which humbled us real hard, real quick. Fortunately, we also stepped up our gameplay after attempting a dirt nap world record, which ended in us living for an unexpected long duration even without a healer, probably ensuring the successful ending of our final key. While in this episode, we will return to Galakronds Fall on the so far unachieved plus 22 level, attempt a lot more keys in order to push our rating before this tyrannical week ends, and to obviously stack the vault up again. But if you think the last episode started to be a roadblock to our goal of 3k, you have seen nothing yet. There will also be a moment of truth where we'll find out that Elemental Shaman is actually secretly broken. Well, on one specific boss at least. Yet this video will not only break your heart, but it will also show you the unending resolve of this German breed in an attempt to figure out how much more can I take. Also, just a disclaimer, I will run through a few rather eventless dungeons quicker this time, because we got an overall of 7 dungeons to cover before the reset. So you better pause everything you're doing, grab a drink, get comfy, and make sure your drunk Aunt Becky is buckled up, because the 8th episode of this journey will be emotional. Roll the intro. Alright, to quickly catch you guys up to speed of where we left off, we ended the last episode with a score of 2640 and the current item level of 475 after successfully timing a 21 Galakronds, Everbloom and Mirror's Rise as well. And this is exactly where we will continue right now, because this week, which is the 4th week of Mythic Plus for our challenge, is far from over. But first, a quick shout out to all those people that just seem to hit me up or even recognize me when I'm joining their groups. Hope I'm not too weird off video. Okay, so a quick reminder. We are still dealing with Tyrannical, Entangling and Bursting, while also running this build for every dungeon in this video. And because we ended last episode with a timed 21 Murasons, we got yet another plus 22 key for us to use to grind our score. Yet this one wasn't a coincidence. This was destiny. An unheard prayer. Nothing shorter than a sign, a message of a long forgotten pop idol, cause damn it, I admit it, oops, I did it again. Galakronds Fall is due for a redemption arc if you ask me, and this one was not only with a party that was a lot more determined to play this as clean as possible, but also with an improved Kusi, coming freshly off pretty much soloing the final boss of Mirror's, and yes, that is exactly what I told myself when I was going to bed that day. I was hyped, horny and hungry to finally claim the score that I was alluded to due to my misplays beforehand. So let's send this bad boy. First boss, easy. Second boss, easy. Notice that one death that wasn't even me. Imagine that. On the way to the third boss, I think there was a bit of a misunderstanding. I think the tank wanted to pull the drag down or something, while everyone else just nuked it and died to aggro. So these 4 extra deaths looked like something really weird happened, but it didn't. Even though I died in the end, I wouldn't give myself too much blame for that, since that was just a big issue overall. Considering we were 5 melee on this one, unfortunate I'd say. But after the boss we actually had over 16 minutes for some extra trash and the final boss. Easy 2-chester in my book. So we cleared the trash and started the boss. Healer died, but no biggie, we got CR. Oh no, no more CR. We tried to finish it regardless and we ended up getting the boss to 85%, which would be the moment the fight is over. But it wasn't 85%. It was 85.1%. This was heartbreaking for sure. But I mean, we still have 7 minutes on the clock to at least time it. So we go again, and this time, the healer died again.
You're joking.
I'm pretty sure all of the 3 deaths came from Earth Surge, and considering how absolutely fine the entire dungeon went up to the final boss, this is a tragedy for sure. So with no chance to time this anymore, we agreed to at least try to finish this puppy, and on the next pull, we got it done. 0 score obviously, but 99 damage to our motivation, and I wholeheartedly believe our monk was aware of the fact that he sort of ruined this one, considering he did the walk of shame WoW style and just left the group ASAP. But again, I don't really blame him. I died to Air Surge before while not having to heal other people, so I can only imagine how much you have to look out for. I mean, we did kill it on the 3rd attempt with no issue, so this could have been a 2-chester on any other day, I'm sure. Though I was pretty happy with what I contributed to this run, even if it wasn't 250k overall. Yet I would lie to you if I say not timing this key didn't hurt me a little bit. But hey, we ain't done here regardless, and this journey is bitch free, so we continue with the key we received from this 21 Blackrock Code. Now, Blackrock Code usually is a pretty easy key to go for, and besides some mishaps on trash mobs more than bosses, we got through this dungeon with ease. Unfortunately, the only time I could shine was on the staircase, since Pharaohs just have unlimited energy with the constant resets of Tiger's Fury. On the final boss, we deja vued the exact same moment we had a few episodes ago. The healer just got ass blasted by the Shadow Bolt, and even though I went with survival instincts, I still wanted to use Bear Form to take the initial damage from it, which also meant I had no rage to cast CR quick enough, because the Stinging Swarm was already aimed at me. So, wipe. Second attempt went a lot better, 16 score to our name and the ring that I actually had to sim, but turns out it wasn't an upgrade, even on the maximum item level, so we gladly give it away. From this key, we received a Waycrest mana key, which was huge for me, not because I wanted it done on 22, but because I only had done it on plus 12 so far, so this will give us a big chunk of score for sure. Yet because I only had the mentioned plus 12 key done on my Tyrannical setting, I spent a lot of time trying to find people for it, till I decided to tune it down to 20 in order to first get some score. We interrupt this program to quickly squeeze in a shameless self-plug. If you, by any chance, enjoy this video, you can show it to me by leaving a like or, and you can call me crazy for this suggestion, subscribe to the channel. Either of these is free and it would make this angry German a lot happier. Also, how about we make it a little goal? If we get to 3k subscribers before reaching 3k rating on the Druid, we will have a live stream or two in which we are probably doing some keys or even a raid if there's enough people for it. So, if you're interested in that, ferocious bite the subscribe button and make it happen. Back to the video. Waycrest Manor, the home of Mummy Waycrest, Pick Tits McGee, and nice. This one was a change of pace for sure. While usually tanks pull bigger on Tyrannical to make up for the time on those bosses, we took it slow. Now, not to say this was bad, just saying it was different. After all, we didn't have issues on the Triad or Bark Boy, but on Raal, things weren't as smooth. Matter of fact, this became very sketchy towards the end, but we still managed to get through it first try, which is really the only thing you can ask for on a Tyrannical week with 5 bosses on it. But even with taking Trash Pull slowly, we got done with Gorok 2 to 2-chest the puppy regardless for a juicy 38 score and the back item that I yoinked from a Demon Hunter. We give some, and we take some. Now what follows next is, oh man. Well, I can tell you this much. I'm looking forward to your comments on this, because we will go over a specific fight multiple times to see what went wrong. But first, because I got an Everbloom key from that Waycrest Manor, I tuned this down to 20. Why? Because we did 21 already and I much rather wanted to quickly get this one done so I potentially get other dungeons as well. So we did some decent damage on El Barco and then made our way towards the council fight of this dungeon. Turns out, Elemental Shaman is quite strong on this one. But also turns out, no one of us cared to kick the stunt cast.
Hell no, man.
So we go again. Second attempt and look at that damage. That dude was like the Oprah of lava bursts. You get a lava burst, you get a lava burst. We got through it this time, but on the Archmage I started to ask myself some questions. You see, because the fire spell deals so much damage, I always wanted to use either Barkskin or Survival Instincts paired with an instant regrowth. For the third one I tried to go with Renewal, but occasionally I just had to use that to survive. But yeah, I had to learn to rotate my stuff to survive, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Yet here comes the fun part. Here is where I would like your guidance again. Let me tell you what I mean. So the boss does this big stomp that will hurt a lot, while the real issue occurs when he spawns the big ad. This puppy needs to die ASAP, because it's just constantly pumping out AoE. So you obviously want to focus it down, which I did. Now granted on the first pull I wasn't taking it seriously enough, hence why I used all my cooldowns on the boss itself in order to finish it quicker. Bad idea. But still, even though the ad wasn't up, I had so many struggles to stay alive. Up to the point where I didn't even get healed to full in between stomps. Those stomps occur every 15 seconds, mind you. And every time the ad spawns, I had to use a death cooldown, which was fine, since Barkskin was usually up again and I still got shit on so hard. Now I will just let the final attempt run through in speed, and you tell me what was off here. I started with Convoke, but kept Berserk for the flower. Barkskin right after the flower spawned to minimize damage taken. First flower went down quick enough and I felt like this is how it should be. But on the second one, things changed a bit. It took way longer, so much longer in fact that the paladin just ran off to stomp the flowers even though the big ad was still up. So first question, shouldn't we kill the big one first before running over the small ones? Because surely no healer can heal that through if we all just run off in different directions while being clapped. We barely made it through the following big ads, up to the one that for some reason swiped me. Look where I am. I look where the tank is. How in the world is that a hit? How does the swipe look like? I couldn't be more behind the target this time, and because I had nothing left, I got sent flying. At least we finished this one with 44 deaths and 19-minute overtime, but I was still mad at this. This broke me, to be honest. I was so frustrated with the struggle to stay alive that I questioned everything. I didn't recall this boss being so tough. After all, I did the exact same dungeon on 21 this week already and I didn't remember it being that stressful. So now we are left with the plus 19 Blackroot Hold, and even though I was internally crushed, I decided to send it in order to potentially receive one more key to do for later. So I invited a Monk Shaman Premade and a fat ass geared tank with a lower geared Shadow Priest to make it happen. And yeah, for some reason this went like this. 3 chests, no score, but an item we traded to the Monk because so much verse ain't that good for us. After that I decided to do Firak on normal in order to potentially snipe the trinket. No, not this one. That one. The tank trinket. Apparently using this in higher keys helps out a lot. Extra death cooldowns that also does some damage? Why not? And it didn't drop. Well, maybe next week. Before doing the 22 I received earlier, I wanted to snipe some extra rating from dungeons that eluded me this week so far. So I applied to a few Throne of Tides and Darker Thickets till I actually got invited to one. I usually am worried that there's a catch somewhere if people actually invite me to keys nowadays. Anyone else that paranoid? Though I can keep this one short, it went well. Besides when our DK decided to test out the waters by attempting to pull off a world record in standing in as many one-shots as possible. We killed it though, and that druid also pumped. Nice! Nice! Second boss we wiped. People stood anywhere, blobs spawned everywhere, it was rough. And then the tank just left. Mind you, tank and healer were the ones that started this key, so I guess they can do whatever they want. With the motivation from that key in mind, it's time to attempt our final key for the week. Another 22, and this story, told over the course of this week, had more twists, turns, and emotional characters than the entire Shadowlands crap. We return to Galakronds Fall. This is a full 4-man stack that applied to this key. Both red paddies had lesser gear than I have, but I recalled that it wasn't necessarily about the damage that lacked in all those other runs, it was just dying on bosses. So this started off well. First boss down, no deaths. Second boss down, oh no wait. Third nap. I was basking in those balls and I cannot even explain how that happened. And then I even pulled an absolute 5-head by taking the CR right before the first ring goes off, just to take the second one to die again. Fuck man. I thought we went through this phase already. Alright man, no more. The third boss became a bit of a wild ride, considering we lost one of our DPS in phase 2 and we didn't have a CR for him this time. So we somehow had to make it without him, which eventually happened. I was hyped man. 13 minutes to go and the CR, so even if any of us messes up, we got room for that. But of course, I die again on the final boss, even though I had no business of doing so. I had survival instincts up, renewal and potion. That was so bad man. Is this once again the end of this run?
Psych!
And not only did we gain a whooping 8 score, we also got ourselves a new set of boots with Haste Mastery, which is already nice enough. But the best thing, we timed our first plus 22 while being the top DPS of the party. Even dying probably 5 times couldn't keep me from giving it my all. Any haters in the chat? But with this, we end our 8th episode of our 0 to 3k challenge. Thanks for watching, and if you're new around here, how about you check out my 0 to Hero challenge on the Guardian Druid, or even the one on the lowest represented spec in the game, Affliction Warlock. The choice is yours. As always, I hope you have the most fantastic day whenever you see this. Till I catch you in the next one. See ya!